Greetings. Before you is Gcabashe, candidate number 5, deployed by the South African Student Congress, PMB, which is commonly known as SASCO in acronym form. 2022 marked the most turbulent year in recent history, with many injustices and ostracizing moments that put student politics and its legitimacy under the limelight. As SASCO, we are confidently running for SRC elections, and we are very resolute. Registration. The institution from the get-go is not visible enough as far as representation of the Midlands campuses, where most of the population of South Africa still have no clue that a Durban University of Technology exists in Pietermaritzburg. Pietermaritzburg is dominated by students who had no interest to even be based in Pietermaritzburg because they initially did not know these campuses exist. This has a crippling effect because students enroll for the sake of enrolling with no aspirations of making their stay great. As SASCO, we will ensure that sufficient information is canvassed to students in real time. Registration for first-year students is not something that should be troubling a university of technology, since the institution has resolved to first-year online enrollment. The truth is that the registration department is always short-staffed, where a university is still struggling to handle even the returning students who were present in the previous academic calendar year. SASCO has a firm belief that the institution should deploy enough staff to deal with registration and allow students who are uploading information on the forever faulty ITS system to send emails of all required documentation as backup, and these emails must be addressed in real time. Failure of the institution to facilitate this process would mean that we should resolve to physical registration with health measures put in place since monkeypox has been announced as a potential worldwide pandemic, which can be a different view next year in 2023. Departments tend to be very abusive during the online registration process, where half of the academic staff decide to take leave without attending to all the emails and processes that have started as per individual students. Lack of transparency and communication is so apparent that as students, we end up emailing close to 9 people where we are seeking help during registration. As SASCO, our solution to this is that departments must stop relying on secretariats to deliver a smooth registration. Deployment of 5 people per department who will coordinate registration will go a long way in Midlands, especially huge departments like management sciences. The late responses, even during late registration, caused a lot of havoc this year, and it must indeed come to an end. Okay, so cut that, right? Online learning. This year saw the institution welcoming students back to campus and online learning being discontinued, which caused so much of turmoil. The institution, along with the SRC, brutalized us to a point where life continued as normal, with many students being left behind. As SASCO, our solution is that students must still be able to access online pre-recorded videos for the sake of practice and only be required on campus for testing and exams. We must be honest with ourselves that self-payers who lost their funding this year and NSFAS-funded students under the travel allowances cannot afford to travel every day. Blended learning must be phased out slowly due to the conditions we are facing. No student must be penalized for not attending classes. High certificate qualifications. This topic has never been mouth-watering to any student that is part of the program. No one should live in uncertainty about their academic future. It is uncomfortable and uncalled for. The South African Student Congress has one solution. The higher certificates qualification must be discontinued and the reintroduction of ECP courses must be in place. ECP courses are definite bridging courses that are recognized by NSFAS in that light. All students enrolled in the program of HC must be considered for enrollment on fair, definite grounds. ECP courses and M+ rule. The negligence of the institution, financial aid, and NSFAS must never be the fault of the students. ECP courses that are offered must be indeed available to all students in general. In closure, on the 26th, on the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, you make no compromises, you make no sacrifices, you vote for SASCO. 1 student, 7 SASCO votes. Dango.